We have just over 75 hours until the NFL draft is upon us, and I cannot wait. All the speculation will be over. The first round will be underway, and we will finally know what the Detroit Lions are going to do. There's been a lot of talk, a lot of speculation dropping today about different things about the NFL draft, that the Houston Texans are not really sold on a quarterback and that they could take Will Anderson Jr., which would change the entire top 10, in my opinion, with the NFL draft. The Arizona Cardinals do not need a quarterback, so then they would probably be likely to trade out. But what happens if they do take a quarterback and Will Anderson is still there at 3? Could the Detroit Lions trade up to get him? That is something that we'll discuss in a different video. But this video here is about the Detroit Lions being open to trading down from pick number 18. Brad Holmes has been reported by Albert Breer to be already taking calls about pick 18. Now, just for your knowledge, last year when it came to the Jameson Williams trade and the trade up, according to Brad Holmes, those calls really started the night before the draft and then went on into the actual. So it wasn't something that happened draft day. So that could be the case, that these calls are already happening between Brad Holmes and teams that would be likely to move up. Now, one of the teams that does not have a first-round pick is the Miami Dolphins. I'm not sure where they pick up, but getting completely out of the first round is something that I don't think the Detroit Lions would do. If they did, the Detroit Lions would guaranteed have a first. They would have to get at least 2 firsts for the Miami Dolphins to come up, probably even more than that, 2 or 3, in my opinion, 2 firsts at the very least to come in to get for the Miami Dolphins to come back up. But here is what Albert Breer had to say about the Detroit Lions in picks number 6 and 18. Total picks 9, needs QB, CB, and DT. What you need to know. I've heard, like Seattle, the Lions had a good meeting with Carter. A mess of rival teams believe he's going to be a real consideration in this spot. If Carter's gone, or even otherwise, Witherspoon, seen as a strong fit for both Dan Campbell's program and Aaron Glenn's defense, is another player that's been connected to Detroit pretty consistently over the last few weeks. As for the second of this picks, a move up for a quarterback shouldn't be ruled out. The Lions did all the work. And I've heard running back would be a consideration too. So number 18 could wind up being the floor for Robinson. Also, for what it's worth, I've heard the Lions have already made calls on trading down from number 18. Now, that's what I was talking about at the beginning, according to Albert Breer, that they've already made calls. So from here, pick number 6 is very intriguing because if the Houston Texans decide that they're not going to take a quarterback, and they take Will Anderson Jr., then that's going to change everything. And I'll just talk about it in this video. I don't think that the Detroit Lions are going to move up from 6 to 2. Brad Holmes has done something very aggressive, coming up 20 spots for Jameson Williams. I don't know if he goes to 2, because if he goes to 2, from the calculations that I've done, then Brad Holmes will have to probably give up pick number 6. They're going to probably want pick number 18. And I just don't think that that's going to happen. Now, from 6 to 3, there is a scenario that Brad Holmes, from my calculations, if we move up from 6 to 3, we would give the Arizona Cardinals pick 6, and they could either choose between 48 and 55, which are 2 of our second-round picks. So that's what I think the most Brad Holmes will probably do. I don't think he's going to give up pick 18 in order to move up to get Will Anderson. I just think there's too much value at pick 18 for him to do that. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think Brad Holmes is going to do at pick 18? If he did trade back, then that would be something very interesting. There's also some talk of potentially the Philadelphia Eagles wanting Jalen Carter. And in order to get Jalen Carter, if he's there, that they could possibly move up from 10 to 6. In return, the Detroit Lions would get pick 10 and 30. And that is very, very intriguing because that would give us 3 first-round picks. We would have a pick at 10, we would have a pick at 18, and then a pick at 30. And if we had that, then there's no telling. The whole draft would be our playground. We could we would be the only team as of right now to have 3 first-round picks if that was to happen. So again, we would get pick 10 from the Philadelphia Eagles. They would get pick 6. We would also get their pick 30. So we would have pick 10, 18, and 30. And I think that Brad Holmes could do any number of things with those 3 picks in the first round. But tell me in the comments below, what would you like to see Brad Holmes do as far as trading back from that 18th pick? Let me know how you feel, man. I think however this thing goes, Holmes is going to knock it out of the park, whether it's 2 draft picks, three draft picks in the first round, whether he has to trade up or back. Whatever happens, I think he's going to slay this thing, man. And we're going to come out of day 1 already better. We could win the draft at the end of day 1. And how great would that be? My name is Derek. This is the Detroit Lions Syndicate. We are working our way to 10K. Might not happen before the draft, but at this rate, we're very likely to get it during the draft. So consider subscribing, helping me get there. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself. And as always, go Lions.